D-line, though, doesn't agree. Micah Johnson right there.
They did a lot of work on short yardage, surprisingly, in the first week of camp. And there was a lot of excitement every time there was that situation. The refs are going to give them the ball. If I'm Winnipeg now, I'd really look to establish the running game. The quick pass that was knocked down by Carney early on in the original first down probably talks you out of trying that.
So first down now for the Bombers. Strebler in the gun. Sends three receivers far side. Ball right in the middle of the field at the Winnipeg 45. Lots of pre-snap movement. Strebler throws it near side. That is complete. Wow, nice completion there as it was picked up.
A fair amount of space to all these wide receivers. They're in an empty set, so there's no run game threat. Back up, comeback route is low from Strebler. Fortunately, Bombers only get 4 yards out of that.
Ontario Wilson on the reception for Winnipeg. Second down and 6, ball on their own 48-yard line. 4 receivers now flank out to the far side for Strebler. He's in the gun. Augustine, the lone back in the backfield. Strebler looks that way. Then here comes the sack. Riders blocked the blitz, and they got home.
This was a great job by Rodney Clemens, the strong side linebacker. He's in coverage initially, but Strebler doesn't look to his left when he starts the snap count. If he did, he would have noticed Clemens coming down, definitely blitzing. Strebler doesn't look over there at all. Sitting duck. Punt situation for the Bombers early on.
Quarterback sack for Quill Plains. Chevrolet Buick GMC in Wadena taking down high vehicle prices. Drive a little, save a lot at Quill Plains. Is on to kick it away is Jamison Sheahan. And Sheahan gets the kick, and that's going to glide near the sideline and bounce out of bounds in front of the intended returner. And that's where we'll take a break. 11:32 to go in the opening quarter. Winnipeg, Saskatchewan scoreless. Scoreless here at Mosaic Stadium. Dave Thomas, Luke Mullender, Derek Bidwell along with you for the call this afternoon on a gorgeous Victoria Day Monday in the Queen City.
I've been waiting to see this Rough Rider offense. It's going to be really interesting to see how Mueller navigates with the amount of offensive firepower he's got.
Hand off on first down to A.J. Ouellette. He's got room to run and gets a nice gain out across the 25-yard line. Rider Nation, get ready to hear that. Harris to Ouellette on first down.
Yeah, this is a great job. Ouellette lets the front side fullback get down. He starts out to his left, cuts back to his right, finds a ton of room, and this is exactly where Trevor Harris wants to be. 2nd and 2. He's a quarterback that likes getting the ball out of his hand early. The whole playbook is open to Mark Mueller right now.
You talked about this on our training camp reports on the Sports Cage all week long on 620 CKRM, talking about how 2nd and 2 has got a full playbook open, and indeed it does as they hand it off once again to Ouellette. He'll get out across the 30-yard line. It'll be short of the first down, perhaps, or at least extremely close. It was just 2nd and 2.
It doesn't look too short. The referees are going to give it to him. Not a bad thought process from A.J. Ouellette. Hey, it's 2nd and 2. I think I'll run behind Jamarcus Hardrick.
Nice job by Kelly to come up and make the tackle for the Bombers, but it wasn't before a first down was achieved. Of course, first downs are brought to you by Bazandowski Agencies. Cooperators, Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice for insurance. As on first down, the pass intended from Harris to Sean Bain Jr. just over his outreached fingertips, falls incomplete on the near side.
Yeah, Harris rushes this throw unnecessarily. He could have set his feet and made a crisp throw to the flat for Sean Bain, but instead kind of threw it off his back foot, and that's an errant throw, and one we didn't see in practice all week.
No, and again, Bain and Harris have been on the same page all training camp long. That one just falls incomplete for the 1,000-yard receiver from 1 season ago. Winnipeg loads up the line. Here comes the blitz. Harris over the middle. Wide open. It's Sean Bain Jr. to the 30, 25, 20. Dances inside, down inside the the 15. Sean Payne Jr., big first down. There's some yak yards. Of course, yak yards are brought to you by YAC Auctions.
Hey, on the first passing down that the Bombers had, the Riders blitzed. Now it was the Bombers' turn to blitz on the Riders' first 2nd and 10, and they completely ignore Sean Payne running right up the seam on the right side. Trevor Harris makes up for a poor throw early on, connects with Payne, and now they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, Jake Kelly, the young safety out of Bishops for Winnipeg, kind of bit a little bit on an under route, and that allowed Payne Jr. to get wide open. First down, hand the ball off to A.J. Ouellette. He'll get inside the 15, down near the 13-yard line before Cameron Lawson wrestles him to the turf. It'll be 2nd down, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, unfortunately, Clint Ratkovich just misses a block initially, and when he misses the block, what happens is Picton's coming from left to right as well, but he wants to throw a block beyond the line of scrimmage. He gets contacted early, and there was really nothing for A.J. Ouellette to run to after that.
2nd and 9 from the 13-yard line inside the Windsor Plywood red zone. Saskatchewan's Windsor Plywood store, your go-to source for interior and exterior home finishing products. As Harris throws it out to the far side, ball complete inside the 10, spinning down near the 7-yard line, but it's going to be just short, as catching the pass for the Riders was Dante Myers.
Yeah, solid coverage by Winnipeg. I mean, it's 2nd and 10, so they're able to keep all the receivers in front of them as defensive backs, but also protect that end zone. I like this call. It's exhibition season. Let's evaluate.
All right, third and 2.
They're going for it.
Ball on the 6. Riders bring in a heavy set as Clint Ratkovich out of Northern Illinois, who's had a heck of a training camp thus far, comes in with the play. It's 3rd down and 2. Ball on the 6 far hash. Harris hands the ball off to Ouellette. He's met in the hole, and he's not going to get the first down. Winnipeg does a terrific job of collapsing Rika Kramdi in there, as well as many others, as Ouellette does not get the first down, and it's our first turnover of the afternoon. The turnover this afternoon is brought to you by Olympic RTMS Turnover.
Unfortunately,
we'll take a break. 7:24 to go in the opening quarter. Winnipeg no score, Saskatchewan 0 here in Mosaic Stadium. The South Dakota grad, 29 years old, back in CFL after some time in the NFL. Throwing the ball, perhaps surprisingly, Luke, on the first couple of plays of their first possession.
Yeah, those first 2 drives were a little bit out of their ethos, I think, or possession, sorry. Now they got a running back in there, Johnny Augustine.
And he'll stand right behind Strevler on first down. Balanced formation for the Bombers. Strevler going to fake the handoff and keep it across the 10, 15, puts his head down to the 20, 22-yard line, and he'll get a first down for the Bombers as Strevler just finds some open room and takes off.
This is a good job by the Bombers. They're selling the run-pass option. They get our left defensive end to bite down a little bit, and Roland Milligan, who's normally really good in this situation, just can't get off a block. So Strevler has the edge of the defense to get to, and he's going to make that good on that all the time. 1st and 10.
Deontay Williams comes in to make the tackle for the Riders on the play, but not before first down achieved on a gain of 15 for Strevler. 1st and 10. Ball at their own 22-yard line. Strevler pulls it, passes near side. That's complete to the 30 and going to be pushed out of bounds. Finally is the receiver. A big contact play right in front of the Rider bench. As hauling that pass in was Myron Mitchell.
Unfortunately, this is exactly what you would want out of this play. The Riders don't bite on the play fake. They get Strevler to hold the ball. He throws the ball into the flat. Now you just got to make a tackle, and unfortunately, the youngster, number 24, Deontay Williams, can't do that. He's had a great camp, and a guy that has an unbelievable opportunity right now to make this roster and contribute heavily to it.
Well, 2nd year with the Riders is Deontay. 41 tackles last year and an interception out of Nebraska. 6'1", 225, and we've got a shake-it-up Bomber on the play. Of course, our injuries are brought to you by WorkSafe Saskatchewan. Workplace health and safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's make Saskatchewan workplaces the safest in the country. And that's Johnny Augustine that's headed off, and well, he's going to be called to back up Brady Oliveira this season, but again, that's a big depth piece for the Guelph product, a Canadian, right?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Johnny Augustine, too. He's a solid player. Unfortunately, he'll head to the sidelines early on. Again, Saskatchewan defensively has to win this first down, especially against Strevler. Listen, he's not a guy that's going to beat you in the air, so don't lose first down on the ground, right? And the other thing, unfortunately, you have to deal with when you have a guy like Strevler is it's essentially another running back in the backfield, right? So those run-pass options that they had success with earlier, those are going to be more prevalent here as they go along.
6:18 to go in the opening quarter. We're scoreless in preseason game number 1 for both the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Saskatchewan Roughriders here at Mosaic Stadium. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. Right-hand hash. Strevler calls out the cadence. He's going to pull it and take it up the middle to the 40, spinning away, finally going to be brought down, but not before getting across the 40, near the 41-yard line for a gain of almost 8.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what we talked about, right? Have your eyes up and just be mindful of where the quarterback mesh point is. Here, Strevler pulls it. He doesn't go to the outside. They're running a QB draw up the middle. Here's the thing that I find interesting, though. It's 2nd and 3 right now. This is a heavily conducive play to Chris Strevler and Chris Strevler only. You're the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You're trying to evaluate everybody.
So Strevler stays in the gun. Chris Smith beside him. Going to hand the ball off to the receiver. It's a near side sweep across the 40. Riders do a sensational job of stringing that play out and not letting the first down happen. Is again coming across the formation, trying to get there. It looked like it was Caleb Sanders, perhaps, or maybe.
Yeah, this was a great job by Rodney Clemens. He doesn't make the tackle here, but what he does do is he gets the play to bubble and essentially stretches it towards the sideline. The Riders live to fight another down. It's 3rd and 1.
Yeah, C.J. Avery in on the tackle, and 3rd and 1 for Chris Strevler. He's going to line up right underneath the center. And Chris Kolinkowski. Strevler goes to his left. Flags, though, come down.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to make sure you're on side here if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Might have been Winnipeg, but right now it's likely that it's Saskatchewan. Looked like we had a hand over the line.
Tim Croker, the official.
Offside, defense.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, and here's the other thing, too, right? It's really early on in the season, and you just don't get to simulate those downs in training camp. So it's one of those things where, okay, we'll let you slide once, but it happens again, there's an issue.
4:52 to go. 1st and 10 for the Bombers, moving the ball on their own 47-yard line. The drive started way back at their own 7. They're still scoreless at Mosaic Stadium. Preseason week number 1. This portion of Rider Football brought to you by Quality Tire and Redhead Equipment. Strevler in the gun. 3 receivers to his right, the near side of the field. Back moves out of the backfield early. Now it's Strevler, far side. That ball is complete up across the 51-yard line. Still going, trying to put a head down and gain more yardage at the end of the play for the Bombers. And a pretty good thrown pass there by Strevler into the bit of the breeze that we've got here.
Yeah, Strevler had his mind made up that he was going to this throw really early on. He actually had a little bit more time in this pocket. Might have wanted to step up and go a little bit deeper. But again, I think that he's just far more comfortable with that throw. Clemens does a good job breaking on it. Unfortunately, 2nd and 3 right now. Now the Bombers have their entire playbook and a running back at quarterback.
2nd down and 3 is right. Ball on the 54. Riders bring the pressure. Strevler going to swing it out near side. That ball complete across the 45, 40, down inside the 40. Finally brought down at about the 37-yard line. But again, it's another first down as
Johnny
Augustine has it.
This is a brilliant play here. Johnny Augustine actually ends up on the wing here and throws a half block. And the reason I say half block is he's really just trying to delay himself from breaking into the flats. Strevler does a good job stretching the play out a little bit, gives Augustine a chance to get into the flat. They connect, and now the Riders are backed up next to their red zone.
Well, and of concern is Jaden Dahlke, a little slow getting up for the Riders at the conclusion of the play. 1st and 10, 3:08 to go in the opening quarter. Strevler near side, ball complete across the 31. That's Drew Wolotarski, who had over 660 yards receiving last year and brings in his first reception of the afternoon for a gain of close to 7.
So far, this is a really efficient drive from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Exactly what you would want. They've mixed it up. They've utilized the skill sets that they have. And Saskatchewan desperately needs to get this into 2nd and 7+. Unfortunately, now it's 2nd and 1.
Yeah, my 7 was a horrible spot on my part. So 2nd down and 1. Hand the ball off this time to Augustine. He'll cut from the right to the left and get across the 25, and he only had to get up to the 26, so that should be academic at a first down with 2:18 and counting to go in a scoreless opening quarter.
Well, you got Big Stanley Bryan in there at left tackle, and he essentially just seals off. I think it's Miles Brown who's getting some reps in there right now on the left side, and Augustine really an easy job getting to the first level and only contacted by the guys at the second level. So natural transition there for them.
The drive that started on the Bombers' 7-yard line has them now set up on the Rider 25. 1st and 10, 1:50 and counting to go in the opening quarter. Strevler in the gun, 4 receivers to his left. Here comes the pressure. Bounces outside. Strevler pulls it down and then gets taken down. Into the backfield for the Riders is Deontay Williams, and that's going to be close to a sack.
Well, it's a fantastic play by Deontay Williams, who comes out of coverage, takes a beautiful angle on Strevler as he starts to run this football. And again, he's a guy who missed the first tackle that he had the opportunity to make. Makes no mistake, and this is where the Riders like to be. 2nd and 7+, so it's 2nd and 12. Now get your pass rushers involved, right?
And we can officially call that a Quill Plains sack, as it was a loss of 1 on the play. So 2nd down and 11 for Strevler with 4 receivers to his right this time. He'll drop back to pass, looks to the left, now over the middle. That ball complete down inside the 20, but going to be well short of the first down as Myron Mitchell brings in the reception. But again, that's short.
Yeah, and Strevler's inability to continue to just be patient takes a touchdown off the board for the Bombers, because if he had just looked up between the hash and the 20s on his right side, he had a wide open receiver who would have walked into the end zone. Thank goodness for Rider Nation that he did not look there. And the Bombers only looking to come out with 3 versus the 6 they could have had if he had looked to his right.
Sergio Castillo will line up a 26-yard attempt. Last season, 90.2% efficiency kicking field goals. Good snap. Kick is up. And Castillo has the Bombers on the board. They lead 3-0 with 17 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. You're listening to the Saskatchewan. The Rider offense goes to work. They'll take the football at their own 40 for their second possession of the ball game. Harris back to pass, far side flat. That ball is complete. Is coming up with the reception for the Riders. Kian Schaefer-Baker. He'll be pushed out of bounds at the Bomber bench. Close to a gain of 7.
Quick little 5-yard out route there by Schaefer-Baker. Takes advantage of the fact that the Blue Bomber defensive back is about 7 yards off of him. Saskatchewan's got to do a much better job blocking at the point of attack this drive.
Players approach the line. Harris back to pass. Over the middle, that ball is complete up near midfield. Nice job getting the hands under the football was Kian Schaefer-Baker, and that'll move the chains for Saskatchewan. A first down for Bazandowski Agencies. Cooperators, Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice for insurance.
Trevor Harris starting to settle down now. And again, this is vintage number 7 here. Just waits for the first receiver to his left. Short little route, pitch and catch, first down. We're rolling.
Jumbo formation, or extra bodies on the line, if you will, for A.J. Ouellette, who gets the carry, puts the shoulders down, and crosses the 50-yard line into Winnipeg territory on that first down carry. Gain of about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 with 14:10 to go here in the second quarter.
And a good job by A.J. Ouellette, because Logan Ferland really struggles with his block against Cam Lawson as the right guard, and Ouellette does a good job not to let the muddle in front of him impede his progress, keeps his feet running, breaks one tackle. 2nd and 4, right where the Riders want to be with Trevor Harris.
Harris calls the receivers to the line. They'll sprint out, but now whistles sound as the officials come in, as the Bombers and Willie Jefferson are pointing that this is going to be on the Riders.
Saskatchewan number 7. 5-yard penalty, repeat
Time
second down.
So a time count violation, and that will not make the coaches happy, as they were very, very intense in the fact that the players have to get the plays off in time throughout training camp, and Trevor Harris didn't do it that time.
It's one of the things that, again, is hard to rep unless you have a coach physically yelling out a time count every single rep of team drill, right?
So 2nd and 9 now. Ball back to the 54-yard line of the Bombers. Harris Has time. Far side. That ball's up, and what a catch! Oh, my. Ball comes out at the end of the play, but Kean Schaefer-Baker went up and made a catch, Saskatchewan. It's a first down.
Kean Schaefer-Baker is so good at doing this. Here he's just running a route. He looks like he's the third option on the route tree here. And Harris puts it behind him. And this is just a fantastic job of athletically getting his body back into position to compete for a jump ball.
First down, Riders will hand the football off. Trying to find some room is Ouellette, who gets thrown down to the turf at the end of the play, as Tanner Schmeckel comes up.
Well, right now, Ouellette's not getting any help from the receivers when they need to be blockers. Sean Bain comes in here. He tries to put a block on the right side defensive end, and he's got to do a lot better because he doesn't do anything, and Ouellette gets held up immediately. I mean, if we get a hat on that blocker, even if Sean Bain's able to cut him down, Ouellette's got a running start and potential for a first down run.
Riders send 4 receivers to the near side of the formation. Second down and 8 for Harris. He's in the gun. He looks to the isolated receiver far side. He's going to dump it off there. Did they keep it complete? Indeed they do, as Johnson is going to haul it in, and it'll be good for another first down for the Riders, who are rolling.
Yeah, man-on-man, Keyshawn Johnson just straight up the numbers. Nice little comeback route to the inside. Harris puts it where only Johnson's going to be able to catch it. Low to the inside. This is good coverage by the Blue Bombers. Just a better conversion by Keyshawn Johnson, who's having a great camp.
Is he ever 6th-round draft pick in the NFL of the Arizona Cardinals, playing his first in Canada. Played his college ball at Fresno State. Harris fakes the handoff on first down. Now throws it far side. That ball complete inside the 10-yard line. Mitchell Picton brings it down, or does he? They rule incomplete. He looked like he had it for a moment.
Yeah, this is a really good job here by Trevor Harris, putting it in front of Mitchell Picton as he comes from right to left on a crossing route. At first, he's by himself, and then he kind of runs himself into a couple other Blue Bombers in coverage. He should make this catch. He normally does. Unfortunately, it isn't this time, and it's 2nd and 10.
Ball on the 21 of Winnipeg. Saskatchewan has it on the left hash. 4 receivers near side for Harris with lots of motion in behind him. Drops back to pass. Going to air it out near side. That ball is complete in the flat to Mitchell Picton, but he's not going to be able to escape the tackle as he gets dragged down by Tyrell Ford, well short of the first down at the Blue Bomber 15.
Yeah, Harris does a good job of getting through his progressions here because Picton isn't the first guy in this progression. Everybody else is covered. Picton's waiting at about 8 yards, and it was a good job breaking on the football from Tyrell Ford. Again, we talked about him earlier. He's back from the NFL, and a guy that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to be leaning on in that secondary.
So Brett Lother comes on to attempt a 24-yarder. Last season completed 81% of his field goal attempts. His longest was 54. Head down this time, puts the ball through, and the Riders are on the board, tying the game at 3 with 10:28 to go here in the second quarter. That the Bombers back inside their 15, dancing out to the 25, 30, now heading across the field, trying to find room across the 30, 34-yard line before finally being brought down on the play. But a nice return there by the Blue Bombers to get themselves into some pretty good field position after a great kick by Brett Lother.
Well, Saskatchewan there does a good job of just continuing to be in their running lanes despite the ball being declared. A lot of the time, especially in exhibition season, it's like young kids at a soccer game, right? Everybody just sort of collapses and follows the ball. Guys did a good job continuing to keep their lane discipline. That's the reason why they were able to make that tackle.
On the Quality Tire scoreboard, Winnipeg 3, Saskatchewan 3. Quality Tire, 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca. New quarterback into the game for the Bombers. Handoff on first down. Going to be good for a couple is Eric Beret is into the game, the Eastern Washington grad. He was in Denver rookie camp and then came back to the CFL, and the Bombers were happy to welcome him in, and he hands the ball off on first down.
And a guy that I really like, Christian Albright, is the guy who makes this tackle. Does a good job assignment-wise. His tackle goes down to the inside. He shuffles his feet. He doesn't let the crossing action of the fullback distract him. And there's one of two things that's going to happen. He's either going to get the ball carrier if they hand it off, or he's going to get to the quarterback. He guessed right. Well, he was patient enough to let the ball declare, came away with a tackle.
The Rays in. Jonathan Rosary in the backfield. Beret now feels the heat. Here it comes. Riders get home for a sack in the backfield. Nice job by the Riders. Trey Crawford to get there. And it's going to be 2 and out for the Bomber offense.
Yeah, Trey Crawford is one of the new Saskatchewan Roughriders in here. He's on the left side of the defensive line. Does a good job just running the hoop and then getting back down to quarterback depth when he's above him. Christian Albright gets in on the tackle as well, and that's exactly what these coaches want to see. Alignment, assignment, execution.
Quarterback sack for Quill Plains Chevrolet Buick GMC in Wadena, taking down high vehicle prices. Drive a little, save a lot at Quill Plains. As here comes the punt, going to be fielded by the Riders back at the 33-yard line, and no yards. Not yet. Wow, tackled immediately. The Rider returner was Jareth Stearns, and I don't know how there wasn't no yards. Well, that last punt return, even though it wasn't called no yards, is brought to you by Barassa and Sons. As the Riders get the football and the carry on first down, Frankie Hickson into the game is going to run for 12 yards and a first down. Barassa and Sons score big this haying season with Barassa and Sons. They have a winning selection of new and used New Holland balers that are ready to roll. Barassa and Sons, trusted by Southern Saskatchewan for 100 years.
Ryan Skeevier checks in at right guard and immediately pays dividends. Mason Fine is also in at quarterback, but that's a good job of Frankie Hickson, breaking the tackle and then getting what you can.
7:50 to go here in the opening half. 3-3. The Bombers and Riders are tied. Hickson gets the carry, finds a seam. Didn't look like there was much there, and is able to get across the 50 to the 52-yard line before finally being wrapped up and rolled to the turf by Trey Thomas.
Zach Fry is also checked in on the offensive line. As a matter of fact, he's the one playing right guard, and Skeevier is in at center.
So Ryan Sevier, of course, former Calgary Stampeder. He's a 6-year pro, first with the Riders, former Calgary Dino, too.
Oh, I love that acquisition by J.O. It was a fantastic offseason get.
Mason finds second down and 4. Ball in his own 53. Right in the middle of the field. High snap. He's going to corral it, and he's going to take a sack. As the Bombers are going to get there, as the timing of the play was thrown off, and Taiwan Garbett, he's going to be the benefactor of the poor snap as he's able to get into the backfield.
Right as we compliment Ryan Skeevier, he puts a snap high into the outside. Mason Fine does a good job of just rallying it in. They'll lose a ton of yards and punt.
So punt coming up off the foot of Adam Korsak, number 2 in CFL average punting last season, 47.6 yards per punt.
Yeah, I haven't heard much from the kickers this camp, but out of sight, out of mind, that's a good thing. And Korsak, he's coming off a great first year.
Solid snap by Jorgen Hughes, the new father. And the punt is going to be taken right at about the 30-yard line. It was kind of a line drive taken by the Bombers and out across the 30 to the 34-yard line, and that's where the Blue Bomber offense will start when we come back. 6:20 to go in the second quarter. Saskatchewan 3, Winnipeg 3.
22, keep an eye on him, field halfback.
1st and 10. Beret being chased to the far side. He's got to pull it down, and he's just going to throw it onto the turf. Incomplete. He had players all over him, including for the Riders. Scampering right behind him was Adam Auclair, of course, the former Ottawa Red Black.
Yeah, Adam Auclair is another free agency acquisition. He's got a good motor on him. That time it was number 25, Brooks Jr.
So 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Bombers. 5:50 and counting to go in the opening half. Football on their own 35-yard line. Left hash, 3 receivers far side, and a 5-receiver set. Barrier, who's back to pass on 2nd down. Press comes from the outside, and it's intercepted. Riders have it through the middle. Coming back the other way for the Riders is DeMarcus Fields, and it's an interception and another Olympic RTMS turnover.
Well, this is just... You've got Zacoby McLean, just a little soft zone as your middle linebacker, and Barrera gives it right to him. He's going for the crossing route behind him, but just not enough on the football. Zacoby McLean trying to get on film. Nice play, pitch and catch, just the wrong jersey.
5:27 to go. Mason Fine comes back into the football game. First and 10 for the Riders after the turnover on the Winnipeg 31. Hickson gets the carry, puts the shoulder down, gets up near the 25-yard line, which is a gain of 4-ish. So it'll be second and long for the Roughriders inside Blue Bomber territory.
Good job initially on line of scrimmage from this offensive front. Good job by the linebackers for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, simply identifying where the ball was being declared to. They get down on it, but the Riders still get 4. Manageable down here for the Riders.
Yeah, second and 6, Luke, pardon me. 5 receivers set for Saskatchewan.
You got Pipkin back there?
Yeah, back to pass. Looking downfield, throws it up, far corner, lots of contact, flags down in the end zone as there was tight coverage all over Geronimo Allison, who was the intended receiver, but I think you could call 2 different pass interference plays on 2 different defensive backs.
Yeah, there was just far too much holding here on Geronimo Allison, who's also had a decent camp.
Pass interference, Winnipeg, number 13, to be first down at the point of the foul.
And Pipkin puts it in a good spot here. As a matter of fact, I mean, this is the first time I've really gotten my eyes on Pipkin as an actual quarterback, not just a third down threat. I mean, he's played well, and he puts a good ball out there. His problem is interceptions. He's had a few of them this camp in untimely manner.
4:23 to go. Riders in the red zone. Hand off to Hickson, bounces outside to the 3, carries a man near the goal line, no indication yet. Bombers get to the ball, nothing from the officials, and they're going to hold Hickson just out of the end zone as the Riders are in the red zone after that turnover. Of course, the red zone is brought to you by Saskatchewan Windsor Plywood Stores, your go-to source for interior and exterior home finishing products.
Yeah, Hickson does a great job here just avoiding Tanner Schmeckel, who manages to get himself in the backfield early on, cut to the outside, then tries to finish the run with some power. Again, he's not the biggest guy, is Frankie Hickson, but once he lowers that shoulder and gets those legs moving, he's tougher to bring down than he looks.
Second down and 1 from the 1. Pipkin to go under center. Calls out the cadence. Takes a step to his left. Flags fly. Yeah. Pipkin keeps working, but he's not going to get in as he's wrapped up from behind. Jalen Hall amongst the tacklers for Winnipeg.
Yeah, Winnipeg's offside here. There's a foot over the line of scrimmage. It's a good thing for Saskatchewan, obviously. It recycles the downs.
Offside. Winnipeg, number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
In a situation that Pipkin's really used to, right, in the Canadian Football League. Possession and goal.
And how many third downs plagued the Riders last year, 3rd and short? They've got an opportunity with 3 cracks now from the 1-yard line with 3:19 and counting to go here in the opening half. Tied at 3, Winnipeg and Saskatchewan in the preseason opener for both clubs. Pipkin going to line up in the shotgun on 1st and 1. Hands the ball off to Hickson. Hickson puts his head down, and they're shouting from the Cedars. Saskatchewan touchdown! Frankie Hickson capitalizes and punches it in for the green and white.
Well, first things first, beautiful job by Pipkin. This is another bad snap that goes really high. Pipkin jumps at it, gets it back down into Hickson's bread basket, and he does a great job finishing off this run over the top of the pile.
But there is a flag down on the play.
Yeah, that would have been after, though. So I think they'll penalize them after because they scored, and I think it was probably just a little bit extra after the play.
Well, the Rough Riders take advantage of the turnover and capitalize on a Nelson GM touchdown drive. Nelson GM and Assiniboia and Avonlea looking for the perfect vehicle. They'll find a match that exactly fits your lifestyle. Proudly serving southern Saskatchewan for over 65 years.
Referee's taking a while to talk about this.
Well, and I think the difficulty comes, when was the penalty actually assessed? You were bang on, Luke. If it's after the play, then that's where you assess the penalty, right?
He's got his notepad out. Someone's in
There
trouble.
are 2 fouls on the play.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We have unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan, number 60. We have unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 22. Those are both misconduct fouls. They will offset. We'll kick the convert.
So Tyreek McGee and Trevor Reed for Winnipeg and Saskatchewan respectively take the penalties, which will not be happy for Coach Mace. What's to do?
Well, yeah, Coach Mace has been on them all camp about their discipline, and he's definitely not going to like that. You're going to have to look on film to see who was the instigator.
So Lothar comes in to attempt the point after. Korsak the holder. Kick is up, and it's going to go to the left and wide out the back of the end zone. So the score with 2:49 to go here in the second quarter is Saskatchewan 9, Winnipeg 3. It's the 3-minute warning. Brought to you by Brett Young Seeds. Get the seed selection you need from a brand you can trust. Visit brettyoung.ca to explore our wide selection of canola hybrids with Pod Defender, our shatter reduction trait.
Oh, no.
Cody Case takes the Quality Tire kickoff off the foot of Adam Korsak after the touchdown, and he'll return it up near the 35-yard line. It looked a little more promising than that when he first got the football. But with 2:42, the Bombers will go back to work here in the second quarter on offense, trailing by 6. Let's go down to the field level, and Derek Bidwell.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so far today, everything has been impressive. I think that would be the word so far for this preseason game. Impressive is the crowd that we have here at Mosaic Stadium. Impressive is the attitude and the energy on the sidelines. I'm seeing guys work together. Right beside me is Peter Godber, offensive lineman, helping Skeevier with some of the long snaps. There was former U of S Huskies, Noah Zur and Nicholas Daly working together on pass rush and protection here on the sidelines. Everybody is fired up. A.J. Ouellette came on the sidelines and was looking at the tablets after they were stuffed there earlier on a third and short, and they turned the ball over. He came over right away, got on the tablet, was a little fired up. There were some four-letter friend getters on the sidelines, but everybody has stayed jacked up since this thing started. So impressive is the word thus far, I would have to say, in this preseason game here in the second quarter. Everybody with a lot of energy, including the crowd here at Mosaic Stadium. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bidsy. Your sideline reports brought to you by Ritchie Brothers. They love the CFL. Enjoy the game. Call Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers for all your buying and selling needs. Visit rbauction.com. As pass to the near side flat is complete and tons of room to run as sneaking out of the backfield with Jonathan Rosary on a second down play, and he'll move the chains for the Bombers, who have got something going here late in the second quarter.
Well, the Riders have dialed up this strong side blitz before. Unfortunately, it's a good read from the quarterback going to his hot route immediately to his left. When you send an additional defender at the quarterback, someone's always going to be open. It's just a matter of the quarterback's ability to find the guy that's going to be open, and there he guesses right.
Yeah, Jonathan Rosary gets lots of yak yards. Yak yards brought to you by YAC Auctions. As Barrier throws it near side flat. What a catch right in front of the Rider bench. Nice job there in bringing it down is Cody Case, who gets pushed out of bounds. Not a huge game, but a very athletic reception as the ball was bobbled.
Yeah, Habakkuk Baldonado, the right defensive end, goes just farther down once his tackle disappears than he would have liked. And what going too far down, reading the tackle, does is it allows the quarterback to come to the outside with the ball, and he's got leverage on Baldonado, which buys himself an extra couple seconds to get the ball to his receiver.
Second down and 6. Ball on the Saskatchewan 50 for the Blue Bombers late in the second quarter. Barrier back to pass, avoids a tackler, now swings it near side to Rosary, complete to the 50, 45, puts his head down trying to find the first down stick inside the 45-yard line. He'll be close, but looks like he'll be just held shy by the Rider defense.
R.J. McIntosh breaks loose up the middle, big 94. It was a good job by Barrier to get out of trouble. He spins to his outside. They get what they can, but they're still going to be short. Looks by about 2 yards.
And look at this. We've got Sergio Garcia coming out to attempt a 53-yarder. Good from 26 earlier.
Yeah, Castillo's a good kicker.
Wind at his back. Ball is on the left-hand hash.
I like this. The Riders are going to get plenty of time to get another possession before the half here.
Good snap. Castillo's driving kick will split the uprights and cut into the Rider lead. It's now 9-6. Riders leading the Bombers with 1:45 to go here in the opening half. Another good field goal attempt off the foot of Castillo, who last season made 46, his longest of 53, and he equals that here in the preseason. But you're right, the Riders have an opportunity to put something together before halftime. It's
a good opportunity to work your 3-minute drill, right? Looks like Pipkin will get the ball again. Only quarterback we haven't seen is Shea Patterson so far, but that's okay. You've got another half to play. But what you would like to see is a little bit of sense of urgency here from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 145 may sound like, and it probably is, a ton of time in the Canadian Football League, but right now you're more just playing the situation versus the clock, right? You just want to show guys that you can get in and out of the huddle. You want to show guys you can execute a crisp drive.
Here comes the rush from the Bombers on first down. Pipkin, though, able to avoid and read it now. Dumps it to the near side, but that's going to skid in front of the intended target. A Joe, the seventh-round selection of the Riders, and Pipkin is a little slow to get up following that play as he took a big hit at the end of it.
Yeah, Pipkin does a good job. I mean, they fake the run here. Nobody really bites, but he does a good job getting outside, stays away from the Winnipeg rusher. A Joe just can't get low enough to bring this football in. It's probably thrown a little bit too low to begin with, but you're in 2nd and 10, and now what goes from a really favorable situation goes to a really tough situation in a matter of one play.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? 2nd and 10, Saskatchewan, ball in their 40. Pipkin, he gets hammered as he throws it to the far side flat, and that misses the target. Was almost intercepted. It was kind of between two receivers, almost Geronimo Allison, perhaps the intended receiver, but incomplete. 2-and-out Saskatchewan. Winnipeg gets the ball back.
Yeah, really quick 2-and-out. One of the things we haven't talked about yet is this is defensive coordinator Jordan Younger's first year calling plays for the Bombers. I love it. 2nd and 10, throw some pressure at Pipkin. You know he's a turnover-prone quarterback, and let's see if you can get something in your hands. They hit him quickly, and the Riders are punting, but now you've got 1:35. That's a long time to manufacture a drive now for the Bombers.
And Korsak to kick with a bit of a breeze in his face. Good snap. High spiraling kick. That's going to be taken by Case at his 30. Going to be wrestled out of bounds about the 35, and pardon me, that was not Case on the return. That was 76, Aaron Crookshank. And here comes the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. 1:25 to go before half, trailing by 3. It's Saskatchewan 9, Winnipeg 6.
So if you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders, you just want to emulate what the Bombers defense just did to you, right? Get the ball out of the hand on first down. Hopefully get yourself in 2nd and 10. Stop the clock. Give your team maybe a minute to respond. I love the CFL game, man. You get so many possessions in such a short amount of time.
This portion of Rider Football brought to you by Quality Tire, and this portion's a first down handoff to Jonathan Rosary out of the University of Alberta. The Winnipeg Blue Bomber running back carries it across the 40 to the 41 on the right-hand hash. It'll be a gain of about 4, 2nd and 6 with 81 seconds to go before halftime.
Smart call, right? Keep the clock in your favor from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 1:21. You dial up a run. Fortunately, for the Riders, the running back doesn't take it to his left where there's more of a lane. 2nd and 6.
Bombers use a 5-receiver package on 2nd and long. 3 receivers to the near side of the formation. Back to pass. Barry picked up.
Work.
Intercepted. That's Diego Fagot for the Riders, and he'll bring it down inside the 45. Another Olympic RTMS interception for the Riders.
This is a fantastic job by Diego Fagot from the Navy. He's dropping back in coverage, tracks the quarterback's eyes the whole way, and then an athletic attempt at pulling this ball in. He has to turn almost completely behind himself to come up with this. Fantastic job by Diego Fagot, the young rookie. And now the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's all good again. 57 seconds and you're in Bomber territory.
Antonio Pipkin back in at quarterback for the Riders. 1st and 10 after the interception. They're at the Bomber 43. Pipkin with 3 receivers to his left. Fakes the handoff to Hipkin, and now he's got room to run. Hickson got wrapped up in the backfield, and then Pipkin gets hammered in the Bomber bench.
Well, the Bombers were offside first, and now they might get penalized again depending on what the ref feels like. Again, it's preseason for everybody, so the flag might not come out on the sidelines, but it's definitely an offside.
Winnipeg, number 29, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And if you're Pipkin, that was just a really good job of maintaining your composure, right? He sees the guy offside, doesn't rush his motion, able to still get to the outside and try to make a play.
Heck of a read, too, right? That was the old play action or the run-pass option. Yep. Of course, he had to read where that defensive end was going. And again, when he got a head start, he was still able to make the read.
He got 52 seconds now and a first down.
Ball on the 38 of Winnipeg after the Rider interception. Pipkin Hands off to Frankie Hickson. Goes to the left, gets across the 35. Going to be tripped up as he crosses the 35 to about the 34.
Yeah. You got to go now, right? Still, you need a sense of urgency. You got a few yards there. You've made it a really attractive 2nd and 1, right? You can either sneak this along the ground or you can go to the air. It's 2nd and 1. I throw this football every single time, right? Because you know if you really need to in a crunch, you can get the 3rd down. But the Riders have to keep their eye on the clock. It's down to 37 seconds now, and they're taking a little bit longer than they should have.
Yeah, they went into the huddle on 2nd and 1, 32 seconds and counting. Now Pipkin goes right under center, 2nd down and 1. Pipkin to his left, dives ahead. He'll get the 1st down with 26 seconds left now before halftime.
See, I don't like that, right? I would have much rather taken a shot on 2nd and 1, right? And if you knew you wanted to sneak it on that 2nd and 1, why take all the time off the clock, right? Just get in and get after it.
Yeah. Well, again, this is interesting because Corey Mace has got to manage game situations, right?
Yeah.
And Mark Mueller as well to our left. So 23 seconds and counting. It's still an eternity, though, in
We're just taking
Canadian
too long
football.
here.
Ball on the 31 of the Bombers. Pipkin still surveying the defense. Now he finally gets the ball back. Looks to pass. Far side. Has a man. And that's going to fall incomplete. It was broken up neatly in front of Geronimo Allison, the intended receiver, as the ball just kind of fluttered and hung up just a little second out in that far side flat.
Well, Marquise Bridges is on Geronimo Allison here, and he plays it perfectly. It almost ends up with an interception and a ton of green field in front of him. The Riders just took way too much time getting this drive in order. They've only got 9 seconds now, so this will probably be a shot around the end zone, and hopefully he can get in on time to kick a field goal.
Ball at the Bomber, 31 on the left hash. Pipkin, the 8-year pro, in the shotgun. Frankie Hickson stands in the backfield to his left. You're going to hand the ball off. Hickson going to get to the middle of the field and just go down, and nobody touched him immediately, so the officials waited to blow the whistle. They finally do with 7 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like we're going to be in for another field goal attempt.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see in the regular season if they would have just gone for that because they had enough time to throw it and still come. But here they get to rep a situation that they tried to replicate a number of times in practice. You got the long field goal team on now, right?
Yep.
So this is a little bit more defensive linemen, less offensive linemen. And the reason why, folks, is so that we can get coverage lanes in case Lowther misses this fairly long kick at 41 yards.
Ball right in the middle of the field, though, thanks to the work of Frankie Hickson Jr. Riders going to get a long kick from Lowther. And this time, no doubt about it, with zeros on the clock, he'll extend the lead to make it 12-6 going into the locker room. That field goal for Reliance Health Water Heater Rentals. Serving southern Saskatchewan for over 50 years with short-term flexible contracts. Call 522-5866. So at the end of the opening half, on the Quality Tire scoreboard, it's Saskatchewan 12, Winnipeg 6. Quality Tire with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca. Back here at Mosaic Stadium as the Quality Tire opening kickoff for the second half was a beauty return by the Riders, and Jarrett Stearns getting the Riders all the way down inside the Blue Bomber 40-yard line. The kickoff was brought to you by Quality Tire with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca. Dave Thomas, Luke Mullender alongside in the McDougall Auctioneers broadcast booth, where you're guaranteed the best buying and selling experience. McDougallAuction.com. First down carry didn't go far as Shea Patterson in at quarterback for the Riders to start the third quarter. We're 59 seconds in. Riders leading the Bombers 12-6. Patterson calls out the cadence. 3 receivers far side. Bombers show blitz. Patterson over the middle. What a catch! To the house. 10, 5, touchdown. Joe into the end zone. And the Riders score, taking advantage of the Bomber blitz.
There's a flag on the play, though. And hopefully this is not against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Oh, no, it's against the Bombers, thank goodness. This is a great job by Shea Patterson. There's pressure from the Bombers. He adjusts the quarterback launch point, finds a Joe, who, by the way, has had a fantastic camp. And the Riders strike early on to start this second half.
A minute and 14 seconds in, and a Joe, he broke it down from 10 yards out. He was that wide open. Shea Patterson found him. A Joe made the play, and the point after attempt to come.
Under a little bit of pressure, Patterson just gets it out early enough. And a Joe, again, he reminds me a lot of KSB in the way that if you just put it somewhere in his catch radius, 9 times out of 10, he's going to come down with the football. And that was one of those. He had to reach back, makes the catch, finishes the play, and the Riders going for 2.
So Patterson of the offense will stay out after the 38-yard touchdown reception by a Joe. As like you say, they're going for 2. Bunch formation of receivers to the left. They'll now trail in as flags come down. Patterson flips it out to Picton, far side. He's going to be tackled on the flat short of the touchdown or the 2-point convert, but there are flags down.
Yeah, it really depends. I mean, it looked like the Blue Bombers were offside. Doesn't look like the Riders flinched early, but yeah, it was on Winnipeg.
So half the distance to the goal, and the Riders can try to go for 2 again.
Yeah, and hopefully they get a little bit better execution out of this one. Too much pressure early on in the play. Patterson's got to get rid of it a little bit quicker than he would have liked. Picton just not able to beat out the defensive back to the end zone. They get a reprieve here.
Picton, Stearns, and Keyshawn Johnson come to the left side on the 2-point convert. Part 2. Patterson brings them to the line. He's going to hand off. Room to run to the goal line. In. Thomas Bertrand Houdon gets in.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot harder than it probably should have been. Bertrand Houdon gets a great block on the left side, and he also gets a kick-out block. He's got a gap that he can run through, and for some reason he stops running his feet on contact, and I think he was lucky to break the plane with the football, but a good job in executing up front for the offensive line.
Well, a touchdown drive set up by a heck of a return off the opening kickoff of the second half. Of course, your touchdown drives this season brought to you by Nelson GM and Assiniboia and Avonlea. Looking for the perfect vehicle? They'll find a match that exactly fits your lifestyle. Proudly serving southern Saskatchewan for over 65 years. As flags came down at the end of the play once again, and it looks like offsetting unnecessary roughness, perhaps.
You know, this is a perfect storm for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's exhibition game 1.
As we come back, another quality tire kickoff off the foot of Brett Lother, returned by the Bombers far side to the 40, 45, and 50. That's where the Bombers will scrimmage 1st and 10 as they now trail by 14 after a 38-yard touchdown reception by a Joe with 13-12 to go here in the third quarter.
Defensively, there's only 6 points on the board after the first half, so that would be indicative of a successful first couple quarters, but it's going to be really interesting. We've got a lot of depth guys in there, including Kosi Onyeka at the safety spot right now. Perfect opportunity for some tape. Sorry, Godfrey Onyeka.
Eric Barrier will hand the football off out of the backfield as Jonathan Rosary on first down. He'll kind of crawl his way up across midfield, but looks like he was dragged down after a gain of about 3.
Well, this is a guy that's had a really good camp, and I'm a big fan of Caleb Evans here. He's playing the 3 technique, gets off of a double team in the middle, and gets up to make a tackle almost in the backfield. He's moved around really well, and he's another one of those guys, I think, that's putting pressure on a couple of these vets that are used to being in the green and white.
2nd down and 7 now for the Bombers. Football on their 54. They trail by 14 here early in the third quarter. Back to pass, Barrier Gets to the 35, avoids the first sack, and now escapes to the 50. He's going to run into his offensive line, and that'll allow the entire defensive line for the Riders to get in for another quarterback sack. Of course, the quarterback sacks this season are brought to you by Quill Plains Chevrolet Buick GMC in Wadena, taking down high vehicle prices. Drive a little, save a lot at Quill Plains.
And again, it's Evans in the middle who originally runs Barrier off the spot. You've got a couple missed tackles afterwards. Great pursuit by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Barrier unfortunately runs right into his own offensive lineman. Hey, 2 and out, Riders are off the field. Great job.
Punt attempt coming from the Bombers. This one will come from about the 40. A high kick that'll hang up. Going to be fielded by Dante Myers for the Riders. He starts to his right, comes back to his left. Flags come out as he puts his shoulder down and gets driven out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. We'll have to wait to see what the flag is. That punt return is brought to you by E. Barassa and Sons. Score big this haying season with E. Barassa and Sons. They have a winning selection of new and used New Holland balers that are ready to roll.
Saskatchewan number 70. 10-yard penalty, first down.
E. Barassa and Sons, trusted by Southern Saskatchewan for 100 years, and that's a back to pass on first down. Patterson looks over the top, has a man, but ankles locked and flags come down as Jareth Stearns looked like he had a step on the coverage as trying to provide it for the Bombers was Nico McCarthy.
Yeah, the Riders run a tight end out there and they get Shea Patterson a little bit
Pass
extra
interference.
time.
Winnipeg number 33 will go to the spot of the foul, first down.
And Jareth Stearns is running from right to left, over the top, deep. Patterson puts the ball in the air, and like the referee just explained, pass interference on number 33 gets them a first down on the Rider 42. So the Riders moving the ball here early with Patterson at QB.
First and 10, ball at the Rough Rider 42, 10:38 to go here in the third quarter. Saskatchewan 20, Winnipeg 6, handoff on first down. Up across the 45, near the 46-yard line will be Bertrand Houdon, and he's going to get a pretty good gain on first down as he pushed the pile a little bit for almost 6.
Well, he's got, I think it's Zach Fry in there on the left of him. And if Zach Fry throws a fantastic block, he's also got big Ryan Skeevier leading up through the gap for him. And that's what gets him the space. 6 yards later, it's 2nd and 4.
10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Saskatchewan leading Winnipeg 20-6. The ball is on the Riders' 48-yard line. 2nd and 4. Patterson to pass as here comes the heat. Pulls it down, now slings it near side. What a catch! Going up to bring it down is Stearns at the 50-yard line, but he had to climb the ladder and then hang on.
Well, Jareth Stearns has such a good ability to catch footballs. It's what's kept him here because, I mean, there's some talent. There's also some length, and Stearns isn't the tallest guy, but his ability to get up and get the football here gets the Riders advancing in the sticks. It's a good job by Shea Patterson moving around the pocket, buying himself some extra time for an open wide receiver.
That first down for Cooperators Basendowski Insurance and Financial Services, your first choice of insurance. As on first down, the handoff goes to Bertrand Houdon for the Riders. Going to dance towards the right, cut back to the left, get across the 50-yard line of Winnipeg, which was the line of scrimmage, and then stumble ahead for a couple of more. 2nd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, they only get 3, but I like the thought from Mueller. Hey, let's keep our big guys involved and engaged. And there's a little bit of information gathering here, too. Every time we've seen the run-pass option look from Shea Patterson, the defensive end to Shea's side has always committed to the run. If Shea pulls one of these, he might have an opportunity to run for a first down.
2nd down and 7. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Ball on the 47-yard line of the Bombers. Patterson back to pass. Dances, fires over the middle to a Joe. He'll bring it down inside the 45-yard line, but that's going to be short of the first down in a kicking situation. And decision for Coach Corey Mace, who's put Brett Lother out a couple of times, one from 41 and one from 24.
Yeah, you really don't have too many options here other than Mitch Picton, who's standing at the sticks all the way to Shea Patterson's left. You've got the long field goal team out here. And this is not a guaranteed kick from Brett Lowther, so these guys are going to have to maintain their lane discipline on the way downfield in case this is missed. But there's a couple extra defensive linemen out there, so you're used to tackling angles.
Ball is spotted at the 53-yard line for this attempt off the foot of Lothar. Driving kick, that's going to sail to the left and will go through the end zone for the single point with 7:42 to go here in the third quarter. It's Saskatchewan leading Winnipeg by a score of 21-6. We're in the second quarterback of the afternoon for the Bombers, Barrier. Going to fake the pitch, going to try to take it up the middle, but he's caught from behind. Nicholas Daly gets in there and makes the quarterback sack. Quarterback sack for Quill Plains.
Well, that's Habakkuk Baldonado. This is
right.
A fantastic job. The tackle he's playing over top of goes down. Normally, a defensive end would shuffle, but this might have been just a commit call from Baldonado. He goes directly to the quarterback. He ignores all run responsibility, gets a big paw on him, and then takes him down for the sack. It's 2nd and 11. And again, Baldonado, another guy who was here last year and is being pushed by the competition that exists in camp on the D-line.
Ball on the 44 of the Bombers. 2nd and long. Barrier back to pass. His pass, though, skips off the carpet in front of the intended receiver on the far side as he was trying to connect with Oliver Martin. That drops incomplete. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Barrier's inconsistent play here. The real issue is the fact that they're not getting an evaluation on all the players that are out there with them. So the receivers who are getting these balls thrown in front of them, how are you supposed to evaluate a guy like that, right? So if I'm Winnipeg, I'm actually looking to get Terry Wilson involved potentially to see what he's got.
Dante Myers back to receive the punt. After Shahan hangs up, caught in the wind, and then he takes it on the fly to the 30, up to the 50, still on his feet. It's Myers to the 40, has the punt to the beat, down to the 20, and he'll be dragged out of bounds down at the 15-yard line. But what a return for Dante Myers, has got the Riders back in the red zone.
What a job by Myers. This ball is hung up. There are a ton of blue and gold jerseys ascending on him. The 5-yard halo is clearly obstructed, and he attacks this football in the air. And that's what gives himself a boost to get the rocket of a head start that he got. And he brings the ball all the way down, but they're bringing the ball back.
Well, there's 2 different flags down on the field.
Oh, that is a huge play taken off the board, unfortunately. But again, I love the approach from the youngster. Attack the football. Don't sit there waiting.
Winnipeg, number 2. We've got a hold. Saskatchewan, number 96. It'll be a 5-yard difference. We'll apply it at point ball held. 1st down, Saskatchewan.
So out of the red zone, the Riders go back into their own end. Again, that wasn't an on-field measurement, but an on-field conversation at very least. On-field measurements this season will be brought to you by SEIU West. No respect in your workplace? Get a union. Get Service Employees International Union West. Your workplace is stronger with SEIU West. Visit SEIUWest.ca and click join. And don't forget, you can join us coming up post-game. It is the Rider Roundtable. Of course, Justin Dunk and friends will be your host. Text in your questions or comments on our text line at 306-936-6262. Brought to you by Souris Valley Industries, supplying Saskatchewan with precast concrete products for over 40 years. Call 306-842-5754 or visit sviprecast.com. As the handoff on 1st down by the Riders goes to Bertrand Boudon, who stumbles across the 50 of the far side, but a pretty good pickup as the ball was spotted at the 45 after all those penalties.
Yeah, this is a great job. Great balance. I love the approach from Mark Mueller. We hit them up the middle constantly in the first couple drives. Let's get to the outside now. And I think it was Geronimo Allison who threw a great block on the first defender outside the edge. And that's what sprung Udon.
Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. 21-6. The Riders leading Winnipeg. 5:30 to go in the third quarter. Patterson under center. He'll dive ahead across the midfield stripe right at the Mosaic logo. Should be good for the 1st down. As the Riders drive the ball for Nelson GM in Assiniboia and Avonlea, looking for the perfect vehicle, they'll find a match that exactly fits your lifestyle. Proudly serving southern Saskatchewan for over 65 years.
Again, you're seeing a balanced attack from Mark Mueller. Really throws into question, you'd love as a defensive lineman and a linebacker to be able to go, okay, well, here comes this play out of this formation. But, I mean, it would be hard to predict it right now with the balance they've shown.
So Patterson with 5 receivers on first down. Pre-snap movement, no flags, though fly. Patterson looks to air it out, has a receiver over the top and down inside the 15-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson. There's some yak yards as he got it in behind the receiver with a flag down.
The flag is down. I believe it's on
offside. Saskatchewan number 75, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
A Joe giveth, and a Joe taketh away.
That hurts.
That is the second big play taken off the board for Shea Patterson.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful ball, wasn't it?
Beautiful ball.
Just a one-on-one battle on the near side post route run by Keyshawn Johnson, who's been oh so impressive at training camp, and he made a great play there. And Joe was a couple yards off on that waggle.
A couple.
Well,
Joe might be offside next play. That's how much he was offside.
So what could have been is now what is a 1st and 15 for the Riders. 4:22 to go in the third quarter. Saskatchewan in front of Winnipeg, 21-6. Here comes the pressure, and they'll get to Patterson from behind. A nice job to get there and make the sack. It looked like it was Liam Dobson, perhaps, that got in, and he had a free shot on the quarterback.
Well, we talked about that left tackle battle. Jordan Tucker, number 62, is in there. He just gets too top-heavy here, and he allows, it's number 56 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, to come around the corner. And again, he just gets his hands knocked down. That's what happens when you're top-heavy. Once your hands get knocked down, the rest of you goes with you. And now it's 2nd and a quarter mile for Shea Patterson and the Riders.
Yeah, that was Chauncey Rivers in on the sack for the Bombers. It's 2nd and 23. Patterson hands it off to Bertrand Houdon, who gets across the 45 up near the 48-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Going to be well short of the first down as the Riders somewhat cut their losses, and will send Adam Korsak out to kick it. But there's now a flag down right at the end of the play.
Yeah, this will be on sportsmanlike conduct, and if it is on
objectionable conduct, Winnipeg number 47, 10-yard penalty,
down.
Repeat, 2nd down.
Oh, it's after, never mind.
But it is a repeat of the downs, though, correct?
Yeah, it's a repeat of the down. I thought it got, objectionable conduct, not unsportsmanlike. It's preseason for everybody. That's my excuse.
There you go. So the Riders will line up once again and huddle up for a third.
Well, here's
2nd and 17, but they're.
Here's the thing. I mean, they just got 10 yards with the penalty, and it's still 2nd and 17. So,
ooh. Okay, now they're leaving the 3rd down up. So and the Riders are going to send out the punt team, right? So, dead ball foul.
Well, something's happening here, folks.
Yeah, it's dead ball foul. We'll go with that. Of course, if you get fouled and injured, well, we don't want that to happen. Injuries all season long brought to you by WorkSafe Saskatchewan. Workplace health and safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's make Saskatchewan workplaces the safest in Canada. Is Joe Couch or is that Korsak on to kick this one for the Riders?
It's
Korsak, yep. High kick. Going to be fielded by the Bombers all the way back inside the 10. Big hit, though, across the 15 as the Riders get downfield in a hurry. The Bombers will have the ball when we come back. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's Saskatchewan 21, Winnipeg 6. He'll complete that up across the 25-yard line. A nice reception there to bring that ball off of his shoe tips was Chris Ike.
Yeah. Well, this should have been defended. Unfortunately, Eric Smith gets his eyes locked into the backfield, and what it does is it brings him, he attacks the crossing route shallow, and by attacking that route, he actually leaves the receiver who he ended up getting the football wide open, and that's how they advance to 2nd and 1 here.
So 2nd and 1 with Terry Wilson in at quarterback now for the Bombers. Ball just outside his 27-yard line. Puts a head down. Going to try to get ahead, but a great surge there by the Riders to wrap them up.
Don't know.
Riders say it's third down. Waiting to see if the officials agree.
Trust me, as a former defensive player, you always say it's third down in these situations.
I just want to see a measurement. Come on, it's preseason. Bring me a measurement.
Yeah, it looks like they're short.
Measurements brought to you by SEIU West. No respect in your workplace. Get a union. Get Service Employees International Union West. Your workplace is stronger with SEIU West. Visit SEIUWest.ca and click join. Third and short. Quarterback keeper for Wilson.
Oh, I don't think. Oh.
Woo. There's another great surge by the Riders, and they're doing everything they can to pull the big quarterback back. 6'3", 207 is Wilson. But they're going to give him a first down.
Yeah, if you're 6'3", 207, all you got to do is fall forward. Good communication along the line for the defensive front here. You can see a lot of guys yelling at each other. Back, 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 back. You got to honor that 1 yard off the football in that line of scrimmage here in the Canadian Football League. No free downs. That was a good job communicating here.
So Wilson of the Bomber offense stay on the field. Wilson in the shotgun. Jonathan Rosary standing in the backfield to his left. Three receivers go to that far side of the formation. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Riders show blitz. Back to passes. Wilson, his pass, though, is incomplete as, again, it's shy of the intended target. He was looking downfield to get into the hands of Martin.
At this rate, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to make Zach Caleros live in a hyperbaric chamber the entire year because they don't have a quarterback right now that can complete a textbook 7-yard throw. I mean, they're really struggling, and they're not getting anybody evaluated.
Well, Strebler was 7 of 8 when he was in for 65 yards. But Barrier and Wilson have had tough sledding so far. This is Wilson's first opportunity, and again, he throws that one just behind the intended receiver, and Isaiah Norman. It falls incomplete, so 2 successive incompletions allow the Riders to send out the punt return team with 22 seconds to go in the third quarter.
He was a bit rushed there. It was a great inside move from the left defensive tackle, R.J. McIntosh. Got him with the inside swim. Riders get off the field again. See which quarterback we send out here. Jack Cohn hasn't seen a rep yet. He might get the fourth quarter.
This high kick is going to squib to the near side. It'll be fielded by Myers off a bounce. He'll then be wrapped up immediately with flags down on the play. Travin Fuller in on the tackle for the Bombers. But with 6 seconds to go, we've got a penalty to sort out once again after that E. Barassa and Sons punt return.
It is Cohn who's going to get the final 5 seconds of the third and then potentially some of the fourth. I've seen it to where in the exhibition game, we've cycled through all the quarterbacks, and then
no yards. Winnipeg number 29, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And then it seemed like the quarterback who the coaches thought was the best gets like the last series.
Okay.
It was really weird. I've seen that transpire. I don't anticipate seeing it here.
Well, that would be tough, right? Like,
well, if you're a quarterback that's just been hanging out wearing a hat for them, right? Look, Trevor Harris is on the sideline right now with his helmet on. So he continues to be locked in.
But he told Justin Dunk in the pregame. He said, I'll play all 4 quarters as long as they slip me in.
He's a vet. He knows what to say.
True. First down for Jack Cohn. The Notre Dame grad throws it over the middle. That ball complete. Nice shifty move to the 45, down to the 41-yard line for the Riders. Clint Ratkovich.
Yeah.
And he'll be close to another first down when we start the fourth quarter. But through 3 quarters of play on the Quality Tire scoreboard, it's Saskatchewan 21, Winnipeg 6. Quality Tire with 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca. Brought to you by Ritchie Brothers. We love CFL football. Enjoy the game. Call Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers for your buying and selling needs. Visit rbauction.com as there's a pile of humanity on second and short as the Riders tried to go quick with Jack Cohn in the game.
Well, he does a good job. And the offensive line also does a really good job. And again, these are situations that you can't mimic in practice in training camp, right? You just can't replicate this drill and feel. But everybody's nice and low, knocking guys off. Unfortunately, I think they had to do the play over again.
Yeah, it's third down. They didn't give him a first down.
That's awkward because it looked like he got it.
I thought so as he moved to the right and kind of rolled around the pile,
Right,
I thought. Now he'll go back under center. Jack Cohn, third and short. Go to the left side this time. Should have it. Cooperators, Bazandowski Insurance and Financial Services first down. Your first choice for insurance. This may sound ludicrous.
Winnipeg's offside, too, here, again.
If you're a linebacker or, right, as a player, you try to make it on special teams, right? If you're a quarterback, can you try to make it as the third down guy if you're Jack Cohn?
Well, right now.
But you've already, I know you've got that expertise on your sideline.
It's a great thought. Right now, I would say that you've got to understand that there's an actual role for a third down QB in the Canadian Football League, right? It's very different than in college football and the NFL. So those are important reps for a QB.
First down for Cohn. He'll hand it off to Ratkovich. He'll get down near the 35-yard line, a gain of almost 5 on the play.
Yeah, and Ratkovich gets a fantastic block from Zach Fry and Evan Florin, it looked like. They do a great job of moving guys off the line of scrimmage in the interior. And Ratkovich got some game. And he's a guy that came in, and I know a lot of people on the staff are excited about seeing. 2nd and 5.
Product of Northern Illinois. Cohn in the game. There's 5 receivers. Motion to his left. Bombers rush 4. Throw over top, looking for a man downfield, and almost caught. A nice job there by Dante Myers to come back to the football as he was trying to back shoulder it, but couldn't find it at the last moment. Falls incomplete. 3rd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, and equally as good a defensive job. I think it was Michael Chris Ike in coverage. They like Michael Chris. Oh, no, that couldn't have been Michael Chris Ike, excuse me. There's 2 numbers listed.
I think that was Trevon Fuller.
Yeah, that was Trevon Fuller.
There's a couple of that on both sides.
Yeah, Michael Chris Ike is actually the fullback / tight end who they like. He ran a 4.5. When do you ever hear of the best combine time being done by a tight end / fullback?
High kick. Once again, going to go to the left off the foot of Lother. Bombers going to try to return it out of the end zone. They won't be able to. As wrapped up was the returner. So Brett Lother having a bit of a tough afternoon.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We got to call a spade a spade. I mean, we've been really impressed with what we've seen out of Lother to this point. But today, it's fallen.
Winnipeg 22-6 ball on the Bomber 40 left-hand hash. Their third quarterback of the afternoon is Terry Wilson out of New Mexico. Played some time in the USFL, throws it far side. That ball in and out of the arms of the intended receiver, so a couple of throws have been off, and that time it was the receiver that was off as it was intended on that far side flat for 74, who I don't have on my list.
Yeah, Eric Smith in coverage. And just, I mean, this whole second half for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers has been forgettable. Just a ton of mistakes and miscues, and looks good for the Riders, though.
Yeah, for sure it does. As Terry Wilson will signal his receivers to waggle to the line on 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, thrown out to the near side. That ball complete. Nice job. As coming up with the catch on this near side flat was Aaron Crookshank, but he'll be stopped short by Hill for the Roughriders, and it'll be a kicking situation for the Bombers.
Good job by Marquise Bridges. Gets the ball carrier down immediately, and more importantly, good pass rush from the Saskatchewan front. You know, if you looked at last year, one of the things that would have been desired is a more consistent pass rush. So to see some pressure, especially from these younger guys, is I'm sure something that Coach Mace is impressed with.
Mastro Giuseppe in to punt the ball away for the Blue Bombers. The University of Toronto grad kicks it to Dante Myers, who fields it for the Riders up across the 20 to the 25-yard line. His Ibarassa and Sons punt return will set up the Riders 1st and 10. Score big this haying season. With Ibarassa and Sons, they have a winning selection of new and used New Holland balers that are ready to roll. Ibarassa and Sons, trusted by Southern Saskatchewan for 100 years. So Jack Cohn once again at the controls of the Rider offense. This portion of Rider Football brought to you by Bayer Crop Science, SIGAPlayNow.com, and the Saskatchewan Party Caucus. There's 10:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Riders leading 22-6. Ball's on their own 26-yard line. Bombers with 4 down linemen on first down. Handoff to Rakovic. Gets near the 30. Going to keep that pile moving before he finally gets landed on up across the 34. So nice effort by the big 6'2", 220 pounder.
Well, and you know what? More importantly, DT, you're getting fantastic push by the offensive line right now. They're knocking guys off the football, and it shows. I mean, anytime you can get a running back who basically puts his head down and just charges into the mass of bodies and still comes away with 7 yards, that just is indicative of great offensive line play.
So Cohn signals his receivers to the line. It's 2nd down and 3. Pitches it out to Retkovic near side to the 35, 40 as a blocker. Pushed out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Nice looking play there by the Rider offense to move the chains, and another first down for Bazandowski Agencies.
And this is an absolutely great job by number 66, Jacob Brammer, the right tackle. He is the lead offensive lineman, and he gets a hat on 2 people, including finishing the block on number 13 for the Bombers all the way downfield. That's what you want to see. You want to see your big fellas out there hungry, looking for helmets.
First down, Saskatchewan. Ball on their own, 47, 9:15 to go in the 4th quarter. The Riders in front of the Bombers, 22-6. Cohn fakes a handoff, flips it near side of Joe. Joe brings it down right near the midfield stripe. Nice gain on first down of almost 7 for the Riders.
He's such a big target. Jack Cohn, I mean, if you want to make the team as a potential quarterback, third string, throw it to the guys who you know are going to catch the football, right? And so a Joe with a good catch radius, again, and ability, gives you the best opportunity to get evaluated.
Joe out of Garden City Community College, 7th round selection in this last year's draft for the Riders, has played with a chip on his shoulders, and the Riders like that. Here comes the blitz from the Bombers. Cohn reads it, flips it out to a Joe. That's complete to the Bombers' 49-yard line. Still trying to battle for more yards as the Bombers try to strip the ball. They can't. And Joe gets a gain of 6 and a first down.
The Riders' offensive front gets a stunt in front of them. It's essentially just the defensive line and linebacker exchanging gaps, and they pass it off really well. So good communication by the right tackle and right guard, and that's what gives Cohn the ability to throw the ball in clear circumstances, right? You don't have a bunch of guys in your face waving their hands at you.
Pretty good read, too, for the youngster.
Right.
1st and 10, Riders at the Bomber, 49. Fake the handoff to Retkovic, throw it underneath. That ball is complete. Not going to be much room there as we've got flags down at the end of the play.
Yeah, no, that play was dead in the water from its beginning. Solyumain Karamako was the guy who chases the ball down into the flat, but yeah, really nothing doing for the Riders on that one.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't a flag. That was just a towel. It was complete to Dell Duncan Busby, the 3rd round selection of the Riders, and he's had an amazing camp. First time he sees the ball, though, this afternoon. Not going to get any.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, when there's a ton of guys there that have to be evaluated, and there's only one football, you really. That's why we talk about the windows of opportunity and really grasping your opportunity if it hits you.
So we've got flags down now pre-snap, as it looked like the Riders may have got a bit of a jump on that 2nd and 11 play.
It's on the left tackle.
Timeout, Saskatchewan.
So the Riders are going to take a timeout with 7:06 to go here in the 4th quarter. I would submit liking what they've seen thus far, up 22-6.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is what you want to see, right? I mean, there has been some mistakes.
Well, look who the most vocal player on the sideline is right now. Jamarcus Hardrick calling out to his O-line, and I don't know, maybe the Bombers as well, but he has been a leader, hey?
Yeah, that's why you got a guy like Yoshi, right? Energy level, always chirping, gets the most out of his teammates.
So the Riders use a timeout, 2nd down and 11. 7:06 to go in the 4th quarter. Cohn to pass. Far side flat complete. Nice job there by Joe. Joe let the football come out of his hands when he was lunging for more yardage, but he's going to be real close to the first down.
Yeah, they're going to mark him just short. Put us on a 3rd and 1 here. Gives Cohn the opportunity to work another short yardage drill.
So Riders going to make a swap out as Morgan Runge comes in with a play from the sideline. University of Alberta product. 3 receivers, wide side of the formation on 3rd and 1 for Cone. Everybody bunches at the line. Cone going to go to his right, has room, and will dive ahead for the first down as this drive is going for Nelson GM and Assiniboia and Avonlea. Looking for the perfect vehicle. They'll find a match that exactly fits your lifestyle. Proudly serving Saskatchewan and Southern Saskatchewan for over 65 years.
This is really interesting, watching Cone out here executing. Because what it does is now the curiosity around who to keep as a quarterback gets thrown in your face. Cone's doing a really good job. And you look at Mason Fine, Shea Patterson, and Pipkin, you got to think that Pipkin and Patterson Fine didn't give you much, right?
Yeah.
Do you give the youngster an opportunity?
Well, Cone this time takes the opportunity to fling it to the near side. I'm not sure if he was just throwing it away as it was in the vicinity of Del Duncan Busby, but it's incomplete. Second down coming up.
Yeah, that looked like a throwaway play there. But again, to my thought, right, you've got 2 vet quarterbacks in Fine and Pipkin that didn't do a ton. You've got Cone, who's playing well. You've got Shea Patterson, who's been playing well. You've got Trevor Harris. And again, is it one of those deals where you want to take 4 quarterbacks again? Or do you want to go with the traditional 3, right?
Well, Coach Corey Mace has said we're developing a quarterback behind Trevor Harris. The question is, which quarterback will that be? Bombers show blitz on 2nd and long. Cone floats it underneath. That ball complete. Nice job of making a man miss, but then running into a tackle was Dante Myers. Myers did a nice job, and Cone hung in there to find him, but it's not going to be good for a first down.
Well, this is great, though, from Cone. I mean, he's a young quarterback. He identifies the blitz, takes a few steps back to buy himself some time, finds the crosser in the shallows. He gets the rest of it done, but again, for Cone to understand, hey, here comes the blitz. I got to give myself some extra time, wait for my reads to cross my face, complete the football. I mean, you give your team a chance there. That's a good job by the rookie quarterback.
So on 3rd and 2, Brett Lother coming in to attempt a 38-yarder. From the right-hand hash, Lother's kick up, and you can hear the fans salute him as he sends it through the uprights and extends the lead. 4:31 to go in the 4th quarter. It's Saskatchewan 25, Winnipeg 6. Getting set for another kickoff after the Riders' field goal to make it 25-6. Brett Lother puts his foot into it. Will chase the returner for the Bombers back to the 20. 25, going to get tripped up. There is good downfield coverage as Jake Kelly tried to find some room, couldn't. Charbel DeVere amongst those that get downfield for the tackle. And with 4:26 to go, it's Saskatchewan leading Winnipeg 25-6. Well, right now, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to go to work on the offensive side. 1st and 10. Quarterback back to pass is Wilson. Finds a man across the 40 near the 44-yard line. Going to be wrapped up there, but a nice completion over the middle is coming down with it. Might have been McCarthy once again.
Yeah, this is just a good job by Wilson here. There's a little bit of pressure to his right arm. He just shuffles slightly to the left, buys himself a little bit more time, and then hits a receiver that's standing between 3 green and white defenders.
So Wilson gets a first down, moves the ball up to the Bomber, 45-yard line, 3:38 to go in the 4th quarter. Riders up big. Wilson has to pull it down as here comes the rush, and the Riders get home for another sack in the backfield. It's a Quill Plains quarterback sack.
This is a great job by youngster Lake Corte Moore, continuing to play and pursue the football. Initially, he's blocked, but because of the pressure up the middle from number 94, Lake is able to jump off the block and come back into the play, chases it down from the back.
Can you please reset the game clock to 3:33, Winnipeg timeout?
And comes away with a sack.
Yeah, R.J. McIntosh got the pressure in on the quarterback.
Having a great game.
He is, certainly is. 3:30 to go, timeout on the field, as you can hear, as the Bombers are going to try to get themselves set for this 2nd and 10 attempt on their own 45-yard line. You might as well take it now because you lose it at the 3-minute warning, if I'm not mistaken, right? There's each team now having 1 timeout left. 3.5 minutes to go. Riders leading 25-6. Couple of field goals from Brett Lother. Touchdown by Ajo, and Frankie Hickson on the afternoon for the Riders. The account for the scoring.
And a couple other big plays taken off the board that would have led to scoring opportunities as well. So,
yeah, big Dante Myers return.
Yeah.
So 2nd down and 10. Corte Moore gets the sack, but doesn't cause much of a loss in yardage as Wilson's pass is complete. Nice job in traffic to thread the needle, so to speak, and coming up with the football for the Bombers is Kevin's Clarcius, and it is going to be still a couple of yards short of the first down.
Winnipeg going for it, so there's an offensive player now. You're looking for sudden change.
Wilson in the gun. Third down, he stays in, throws it near side flat. That is complete once again to 74, the Bombers, who will have the first down inside the 50 to about the 46 of the Riders.
Yeah, and I think that if you're a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan, you're saying to yourself, why wasn't Terry Wilson in this game the whole time?
Well, he'll get a chance to show off with the 3-minute drill coming up. It's the 3-minute warning brought to you by Brett Young. More Bush Life to 6. Here under 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Wilson back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Riders can't get there. Wilson throws it far side. Wide open down inside the 15-yard line. Pushed out of bounds is the Bomber receiver who we don't have a name on, but he was able to stay there long enough, was the Bomber quarterback, to find him in the flat and move the sticks.
Yeah, this is the second time this half that Eric Smith's got his eyes lost in the backfield. And because of that, he follows the quarterback, and as the quarterback turns and comes out to his right, he completely loses his man, number 74. We'll call him John Doe for now. Either way, the Bombers are on the 11 because of Eric Smith's just following, we call it seeing ghosts.
First down for the Bombers. Handed off to the receiver coming across the formation to the 10. Nice job by the Riders to stay there as the ball was handed off into the arms of Jake Kelly.
Really good job by Antoine Brooks.
Is that who it was?
As
yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Coming down from the linebacker spot, chasing this into the flat. Great effort. Gets off a block, dives for the tackle. That's what coaches want to see when they're evaluating these guys for depth positions.
2nd and 7. Ball on the Rider 8. Bombers threatening late here in the football game. They trail by a bunch, however. Wilson back to pass. Running out of time, has to sprint far side. Now going to throw it back of the end zone. Touchdown. Yeah. Wide open in that far corner was Kevin's Clarcius, and he'll call it in for the touchdown.
This is a miscommunication, and just it looks like some of the guys are playing zone, and here you've got linebackers kind of sitting at the end zone line. I think they've got guys behind them, and that is not the case here. So Winnipeg, on a good drive from Terry Wilson at the quarterback spot, pulls a little bit closer with 2:22 left. They're going to go for 2, hopefully get to 14 after this. Does Corey Mays dial up a blitz here? I mean, I would in this situation. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly.
Who are you kidding? You'd blitz every play if you could, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
Wilson in the gun, going for 2 over the middle, and the blitz is dialed up. Wilson's on the turf, so is the ball incomplete. Yeah. 25-12, the Riders are early.
Well, that's the right call, right? I mean, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly here. Let your DBs do the work.
Well, first touchdown of the afternoon for the Riders. An 8-yard pass from Terry Wilson to Kelvin Clarcius. And it's a good touchdown, 25-12, as we're getting into the later stages. Don't forget, coming up, folks, is the Rough Rider Roundtable postgame show. Wherever you are across North America, we want to hear from you, whether it's by call or on the text line for Souris Valley Industries at 306-936-6262. Souris Valley Industries in Weyburn, supplying Saskatchewan with precast concrete products for over 40 years. Call 306-842-5754 or csviprecast.com.
Now, generally what you would be doing here on Mark Mueller's spot would be, okay, let's get this clock down, right? You got 2:22, you're up by 13. Now sort of the whole point of your offensive rollout is to keep the clock running. You really want to balance things out, and if you do throw the ball, you want to throw it quickly and let the receivers do the rest of the work, right? And one of the things you don't want to do is dial up something long first down, right?
Yep.
And put yourselves behind the sticks.
Dante Myers with the ball, taking it across midfield on the return. Of course, the quality tire kickoff fielded neatly by the Riders, but there's a flag down and likely going to be bringing it back.
Yeah. Hey, remember that time I told you this game where you you rotate through the quarterbacks and then you get another?
Yes.
Well, look who's back
72.
in. You got Shea Patterson.
First down.
Shea Patterson finally taking back the quarterback role, and I told you, man. You see all sorts of crazy stuff here.
Well, looking at the numbers, Trevor Harris went 7 of 9 for 123 yards when he was in. Shea Patterson is 3 of 3 for 52 yards. Jack Cohn, 6 of 8 for 40. Well, they don't credit Antonio Pipkin with a completion, 0 for 3.
What was Mason Fine? He wasn't in the game very much at all.
No, he wasn't.
Well, hey, control what you can control. That's none of Shea Patterson's business. He's out here, and he's going to sling it.
Yep. It'll be first down and 10 for the Riders at their own 25-yard line following the penalty. 2:15 to go in the fourth quarter. He hands off to Radkovic on first down, who will stumble across for a couple. Now I'm looking down to see if I can see Mason Fine on the sideline. Of course, injuries are brought to you by WorkSafe Saskatchewan. Workplace health and safety is everyone's responsibility. Let's make Saskatchewan workplaces the safest in Canada. And I haven't spotted him. Have you spotted Mason Fine?
No, this was the right call, though. Unfortunately, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers D-line just does a good job of getting off blocks here and stops Rakovic. Yeah, I can't find Mason Fine down there, but by the way, he's like 5 foot nothing. So
he's right there beside Trevor Harris at the 40-yard line. So there you go.
Just as easy finding a Gatorade bottle at this point.
This is going to be fun, man. This is going to be fun. 2:09 to go. It's 2nd and 8 for the Riders. They lead 25-12 in this preseason opener. Of course, the Riders are back on the field next Saturday when they travel to Edmonton to take on the Elks. It'll be the Elks' first preseason game, the Riders' last preseason game.
I'll tell you what, man, I'm really interested in what the Elks do this year. I think they're going to be a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
McLeod Bethel Thompson at quarterback, kind of
MBT.
Yeah, kind of mentoring Trey Ford, if you will, the Canadian quarterback. 2nd and 8, 2:09 to go. Patterson going to pull it down, go for a run. Goes to his left, makes a man miss. Still on his feet, tries to dive ahead across the 30, but he'll be held short of the first down on the quarterback keeper. And Patterson looks frustrated as he gets up, as he had one more man to beat, and then he was gone.
You get one and you get a first down.
Yep.
Shea Patterson doing his best Daniel Jones impression.
So 2:03 to go. 3rd and 4 for Saskatchewan.
So now, on the flip side, defensively, you want to keep guys in bounds, right?
Yep.
So anytime you tackle a ball carrier now, just make sure he can't get to the sidelines because you don't want the clock stopping.
So Joe Couch is on to punt this one away for the Riders. Standing back at his own 16-yard line.
Jeez. By the way,
kick going to be fielded there by the Bombers, coming to the near side, but running the wrong way is the returner, and Isaiah Norman. He'll be brought down inside his 40, but we do have flags down.
By the way, Joe Couch, someone's got to get a look at what his diet is, because that's the biggest kicker I've ever seen in my life.
No yards. Saskatchewan number 74, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I mean, we used to think that John Ryan was a big, in-shape guy.
Yeah.
Joe Couch looks like he's about to put 35 reps up on the 225 bench thing.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
He's an athlete all around, isn't he? So the Bombers are going to get the football back inside Saskatchewan territory to start their drive. 1:39 to go in the ball game. Terry Wilson in at quarterback for the Bombers. Drops back to pass on first down. Throws it near side. Good catch there by the receiver in Norman, going up to make the catch. Pardon me, that was 75, not 15. So a nice job of coming down with it there for the Bombers and getting very close to the 45-yard line, gain of about 8.
Great effort by K.D. Davis from his linebacker position, chasing that receiver down, too.
Wilson and hurry-up offense now going to dump it off over the middle to number 74, we don't have the name for. He'll scamper out of bounds at the 36. That'll be good for a Bomber first down with 1:27 to go, trailing by 13.
Guys like Batman.
Yeah, that's right. I've scoured all my notes, and I don't see a 74 anywhere.
That's Bruce Wayne, man.
Back in junior hockey days, you used to put a number on a kid that you never would play or whatever.
Yeah,
so
as a DB, if you get number 123, you're in trouble. You probably don't know.
Terry Wilson on first down for the Bombers. Here's the rush from the outside. Now going to go over the top. What a job of coming down and breaking it up by the Riders. Who's that? Number 22, C.J. Colden.
Well, he's one of the young guys that we've talked about.
Yep.
First year Saskatchewan Roughrider in training camp. He's got great ability here. He baits Wilson in to throw in this ball and shows great speed, closing the gap and getting up in the air to knock this down. Almost intercepted it. That's a kid pushing for a roster spot. I really like his game.
He was with the Minnesota Vikings last season, 25 years old, out of Oklahoma. Had a terrific camp so far. Makes a nice play to break that one up. 2nd and 10, Winnipeg. Wilson back to pass. Looks over the middle. Has the ball go through 2 receivers' hands, and it's caught. Now it's on the carpet. Riders pick it up. And coming back the other way is the big man. He's going to get pushed out of bounds. And scooping it up with Sidney Houston Jr. on the fumble recovery. Another Olympic RTMS turnover.
Hey, listen, if there are kids watching this broadcast and you're a football player, good things happen when you sprint to the football, no matter where it is. And Sidney Houston Jr. chases this ball down from his defensive line position. It's because he's making great effort. He's trying to get in on the play. And the ball pops out, and because Sidney Houston is sprinting to the football, he gets a fumble.
And he wanted to go.
That big man is
wanted
rumbling.
to go. Got caught and hauled down by Chris Smith at the end of the play, and with 1:08 to go, the Rider offense comes back out onto the field.
Oh.
Hand the football off by Patterson on 1st down. That's Rakovic, who gets across the 50.
Joe dangerously close to another offside penalty. But this is a good call from Mark Mueller, right? Let's run this clock down. Let's leave it to our offensive front. Nothing complicated in terms of what they're asking Ratkovic to do. Now you're in 2nd and 3. You've got your entire playbook at your disposal.
57 seconds to go in the football game. Riders in front by 13.
May see a run here.
Patterson in the gun. Ratkovic, the lone back in the backfield, trips receivers far side. Hand the football off to Ratkovic, first man through. And look at that pile get driven by the Rider front 5. And it'll be down at least near a 1st down, if not more. And indeed, it is a 1st down inside the Bomber 50 with 39 seconds to go.
This is a good job by Noah Zer and Zach Fry, the left guard and the center, I think it is. And again, they don't knock guys off the line of scrimmage, but they're both able to just seal off the end and the defensive tackle, and that's what gives Ratkovic the opportunity. And anytime a line running back is getting touched the first time by a second-level guy, I mean, that's a successful play waiting to happen. And now the Riders look like they'll get in victory formation and just kneel this thing out.
Shea Patterson is at the controls, taps the center on the rear end, puts a knee down on the turf with 18 seconds to go to kneel this one out. Of course, Yak Yards throughout the game were brought to you by Yorkton Auction Center, YAC Auctions. For those Yak Yards throughout the year. Of course, coming up, we'll be live in Studio 620 for the 5th quarter post-game show, and then it's the Rider Roundtable with Justin Dunk and crew as the countdown is on here at Mosaic Stadium. 2-1, and Shea Patterson will look up, take the snap, take a knee, and the Rough Riders open the 2024 preseason with a triumphant victory, 25-12 over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Stand by. Coming up, of course, it is the 5th quarter post-game show. As mentioned, the round table at the final score on the Quality Tire scoreboard. It's Saskatchewan 25, Winnipeg 12.